I have in my hands the 2025 Titleist Pro V1 golf balls. We have the Pro V1, we have the Pro V1X, and we have the Pro V1X Left Dash. I'm going to hit these with some wedges to see what they do in this video, and then in later videos I'm going to have a look at the irons and the driver because I want to see what they do and how they blend into your game. So 3 golf balls, fresh out the boxes. First thing I do is rub them together like this to see how much they stick to each other. Now, Pro V1 being Pro V1, they are the market leader, and they're the market leader for a reason. They grip. You can feel the stickiness of the outer cover to each other. If you think that friction, when that friction gets into your wedge faces, they're gonna spin. And there is an element that if they eat into your wedge faces too much, then they're gonna break down. The wedge face is gonna grip into it too much, it's gonna cut it, and they're not gonna last as long. But we'll see what they look like at the end of the test and go from there. But like I said, let's have a look at what the wedges do with these golf balls. Some balls spin less, some balls spin more, some balls go faster off the club face, some balls go slower off the club face for different categories of swing speed. And I changed my golf ball last year halfway through the season, which is a naughty thing to do because it changed my yardages. I gained a load of spin, I got a load more control onto the greens with my irons and wedges. But I lost 8 yards in my average carry, which I didn't mind at all because I just needed to know what that difference was. But it also made my driver spin a lot more, so I chose to go back to my original ball because I couldn't quite get the driver to behave itself. And that's why I think golf ball choice is very important, because it can affect every area of your game. And what I'm looking to do with most golfers is to target your strongest area of your golf bag and make that as good as it can possibly be, without being too far away from the other ends of your golf bag. Some balls spin more with a wedge and an iron and spin less with a driver. Some balls spin more with a wedge and an iron, and they also spin more with a driver. So we just need to make the right choices. Or if you make a bad choice or the wrong choice, at least make that wrong choice consistently. Take out one variable from your golf game so you know the ball's going to react in the same way repeatedly, instead of using this ball, that ball, this ball, that ball, and going, oh, I'm inconsistent and my golf ball's inconsistent, because then you've got 2 variables working against you. Why not make it 1? Or at least choose the same golf ball in competitive golf. When you play a proper round of golf, use your golf ball, use your choice of golf ball. If you're playing general play, then maybe use the golf balls you find in the trees and stuff and just kind of use them to muck around with. But when you're playing something a little bit more serious, this is my ball. Or I have a practice ball bag that I fill up with all the premium golf balls that I find on the golf course. So then I've got a practice ball bag full of decent golf balls. Instead of chipping and hitting shots on the driving range that I go to near here, where you have to take your own golf balls and go and pick them up, I'm at least hitting proper golf balls instead of a bag of range balls, which I don't know what they're going to do, and I don't learn anything from that. Now, as ever, the Pro V1 is the benchmark golf ball for every other golf brand. Every golf brand that brings out a golf ball, they are trying to compete with the Pro V1. I think the Pro V1 was the first ball to have a centered core. So for them to actually look at the manufacturing process and make that core of the golf ball in the middle. Which is why so many tour players started using them, because they were just that much more consistent than other golf balls back in the Balata days, and they've held that market presence ever since. But we are indeed saturated with a lot of very good golf balls, and sometimes we're spoilt for choice and it's very hard to make a choice in the first place. If you like a brand, I'm trying to show you what each brand does, what their choice of golf ball does, wedges, irons and drivers, so you can be more informed, so you can then make a more educated guess rather than going, oh, maybe I'll use that one and I don't know what I'm doing. I want to give you a little bit of confidence in what you're doing because you're doing it for a reason. Pro V1X. No dashes. Now I am already warmed up, so I don't need to dance from one ball to another to make sure I'm not any more spicy. All 3 of these golf balls landed in the same spot, so they're all behaving a very similar way. Pro V1X. And if we do bounce test, Pro V1X, quite high pitched. Pro V1, lower pitched. And I think one of the focal points of these golf balls, the first thing I heard, was they were trying to change the pitch, the noise and the feel that you get with a putter. But has that compromised any other areas of the bag? Pro V1X definitely higher pitched. Pro V1, Pro V1X, higher pitched, harder. Left dash. Sounds a little bit more high pitched than the Pro V1X, just just that little bit clickier. But my impression is that the original Left Dash golf balls, they're very hard to get in retail, especially in the UK. I think they were very much geared up for what the driver's doing, which is why it's a good idea to hit them with the wedges to see what they do compared to the other balls, because we don't want to use a ball that goes really well with the driver but then is no good with a wedge. So continuing with the Pro V1X, trying not to get distracted from waffling at the screen. Yep. Now I do tend to be quite consistent with wedge yardages. I practice them a lot, I drum them in a lot. Because it's an area of your bag that you can get really tuned in. Anyone can do this. You don't need to be the fastest golfer to get a wedge to do the same thing repeatedly. And it's an area where you can, if you can really dial that in, you can get some really good scoring ability from that consistency. If you get really good from 1 yardage, that's enough to just to hold around together. We went to Portugal a couple of weeks ago now, and I didn't have any yardages on my wedges, but I did know the sort of feeling that I needed to hit a 60-yard shot. Now, because I was so tuned into that 60-yard shot, I just knew the feeling that I had for that shot. There was a few shots where I had like 85 to the pin, so I just hit the next loft up and I just gave it my 60-yard feel, just with a different club. I've hit all of them in the same place, so we're not going to learn much more from that. That high clicky noise from the Left Dash. Now for me, these are the most exciting ones because they haven't been, I couldn't get hold of them last year. You had to go to certain shops that had them. They were just much less available. So to see them in every pro shop now, pretty much that stocks Titleist, more accessible. Right, no pressure, but I haven't missed the green yet. And I am prone to a bit of commentator's curse. That felt nice. Not massively different. I've nearly held it, nice. It felt solid. That definitely feels different. What is the difference with that golf ball? Oh, this is exciting. What is it? Can I put my finger on it? Oh, I don't know what that is. It's behaving itself. I have to say, Titleist do make a good golf ball. That was such a bad swing. Commentator's curse coming in. Oh, I'll have to take that one out. I got too complacent because the ball was doing all the work for me. No, that's a lie. It's not just the ball. Ooh, can't put my finger on what that is. So in other videos, I'm going to try out the irons with all 3 balls. I'm going to try out the driver with all 3 balls to see what the difference is at different areas of the bag at different spins and different speeds. But I'm hitting them pretty consistently. I've missed the green with 1 shot. We'll delete that one out. Let's see what they do. Oh, one thing to note. Left dash, I'm seeing some cover coming off. And like the number's just got a little bit eaten up there. But that could be a compromise for whatever it is that I felt there. If I go into the Pro V1X and the Pro V1. Pro V1X, same sort of condition, same sort of thing. There's like some cover. I can't really show it in the camera. Don't know if you can see it, where the cover's just coming off a little bit. And then the Pro V1, can't see any defects. Maybe marginally. Pro V1 seems to have held up better than the other 2. The other 2 might perform differently, and that's why they've chewed up a little bit more. Maybe. Let's have a look at the numbers. So first thing I want to do is just take that 1 outlier shot out. It was the Left Dash, it was a 106. The other one's pretty good, pretty good. Pro V1, 113, 113, 113. Nice. Yeah, fair enough. I'm not surprised. I mean, I've hit 113 with all 3 of these golf balls. Peak height that they reach is the highest point in the ball's flight, 92 feet, 92 feet, 91 feet. Same, same, same. Carry 113, 113, 113, same, same, same. Angle of descent is 52.5, 0.4, 0.2. So the angle that the ball comes in at is doing the same thing with each golf ball. Am I going to be disappointed with these results? Oh, the spin rates aren't there, so we'll see that on the other screen. But the variation in the spin rates is all about the same, maybe just slightly tighter with the Pro V1 compared to the X and the Left Dash. Speeds, all about the same, a little bit faster on the X. Launch angles, all about the same. Yardages, all about the same. Peak heights, all about the same. Dispersion rings, all about the same. There's lots of consistency here, and normally I see more variation. Spin-wise, we have Pro V1 at 10,739, 10,800 on the Pro V1X, so marginally more. And then the Left Dash, 10,600, so lower spin on the Left Dash. Okay, not the hugest differences there in split of the data. I've seen bigger differences in previous years. So it's interesting that they've kind of maybe normalised that a little bit. I don't know if that's anything to do with trying to make the ball feel better off a putter, but we shall see in future videos how the irons perform and then how the driver performs to see if there's any more difference up the top end of the bag. But wedge-wise, it's a little bit negligible which one you choose. But I'll see you on the next video. There is a little series of golf ball videos. I'm doing different brands, and then I'm going to categorize. So the highest spinning balls from each brand, I'm going to compare them to each other. And then the standard ball from each brand, I'm going to compare them to each other. So I'll see you there.